Hello soulmates, welcome back to my channel. This is Soul with Pivot. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Turn on your notification bell, okay? Thank you. So today we're going to be learning how to make this beautiful short for a kid, and the same thing applies even if you're making for an adult. And to make this, I made use of about 1.5 yards Duchess fabric. So I have this long piece of fabric, so I'm going to fold it into two like this, and then I'm going to fold it again. So you can see one of my folding is longer than the other one, so we're going to be using one for the back and then one for the front. So for the front piece, I use my hips measurements divided by 4 plus 1 inches, then plus 2 inches for the crown extension, making it 10 inches. Meanwhile, the other part, that's for the back part, you can just make an additional extension of like 2 or 3 inches. So this is what we have on fold, and mind you, the side is going to be on fold. Now from this upper part, we come down by 1.5 inches. So I'm going to mark it straight down to the other end of the fabric, 1.5 inches, and then I'm connecting it. So it's from that point we are going to start imputing our short measurement. Now from this point, my short measurement is 15 inches, but because I'll be using a 1-inch band, so I'll remove 1 inch. So what I have is what, 14 inches for my short measurement. 14 inches, then plus 1 inch for seam allowance, that's 15 inches. So I'll be using a crouch depth of 10 inches. Mind you, I'm making this for a girl of 8 to 9 years old. Okay, so I'm going to draw a straight line. So now from the folded edge, I'm going to measure my hips measurement divided by 4, then plus 1 inches, and I have what, 8 inches. This is important to add the 1 inches. So I'll place the same 8 inches on the waistline. Okay, so I'm going to connect it into a straight line. Okay, now from this point, I'm going to take my crouch extension, which is what, 2 inches. So I'll mark it out here, 2 inches, and I'm just going to curve it a little like this. Okay, now for my round nail, I have 16 inches divided by 2, which is 18 inches. Then I added 1 inch, which is 9 inches. So I'm going to mark it out here, and then we'll connect it back to the crouch line. Okay, so now we have successfully marked out our front piece, and mind you, we are cutting the front piece and the back piece together here using this pattern. So this is the front piece, and then I'm going to be marking out the back piece. That's why we left this extension here for the back piece. So now let's continue. So for the back piece, I'm going to be coming out by 2 inches for the crouch length. So I'm going to be extending it by 2 inches more for the crouch length. So I marked it out. So on this waistline, I went ahead to add 1 inch. But you can go ahead and add 2 inches if you want it very free. But I extended by 1 inches, and I marked it out here. So I'm going to mark out my 1 inches, 1 inches, 1 inches. Okay. Then I'm going to connect it to meet the crouch line, to meet that our crouch extension line. So I'm going to connect it like this. Okay, then on this other part, I'll go ahead and also add 1 inches. Like I told you, you can work with 2 inches, and you will see the reason why we are adding this extra inches. So I've added all my allowances. Now on the upper parts of the back block, I'm going to come up by 1.5 inches, and I'm going to connect it to meet this straight line. So I'm going to connect it like this in a slanted form to meet this our waist line. So just watch carefully. You will eventually get to understand while I'm doing all this addition. Mind you, our back trouser block and our front trouser block is not the same. The back is supposed to be like 1.5 inches higher than the front, because of the boots. So that's why I made that extension. So now I want to go ahead and cut my back bodies first. So I'll cut from that waist, then I'm cutting like this. Just watch carefully, you will understand. So I'm cutting it out like this. So this is our back bodies I'm cutting out first of all. So after cutting the back, to cut the front, I'm going to go ahead and open it up like this. Okay, so that we're not going to mistakenly cut the back. So now this is the front. So now we're going to follow that our front line we marked. So we're going to follow it. So first of all, cut for the waist. I'll just cut off that straight point like this, and then I'm going to cut from here my crouch line. I'm going to cut it like this. Okay, so after cutting my front, I'm going to fold it back to the way we folded it initially, so that you will see what I was talking about. So I'm trying to arrange it so you can see our front and our back. The whole essence of this thing is because we don't want our side to have a joining. So that's why we're basically cutting our back and our front block on the same piece. So you can see it. This is what we have. Okay, so remember it has what frills fixed at the side. So what I will do is from this folded edge, I'm going to mark out 4 inches. I'll mark out 4 inches all the way down. So I'm marking out 4 inches, and I'm going to connect it into a straight line. So after marking, I'll go ahead and cut. At this point, you don't have to be bothered about the allowance because I already added it when we're cutting out our front block initially. Remember when we divided our hips, we added 1 inches. So it was because of this joining that we did that. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it out. Please, if you feel like you are not clear in any part of this video, just let me know in the comment section. So I don't mind. I might just have to repeat the video and then take note of that particular place. Okay, so let's continue. So this is what we have. So let me open it up. So basically this is where we are going to be fixing our frills on. So this is it. Let me open it up, and then we have what we have 2 pieces of this. So at this point I'm going to open it up because we're going to be making our marking on the front from this point, because that's where we're going to be fixing our frills. So I've opened it up. Now from the bottom part, from the hem of the short block, we're going to go up by 2 inches. We're going to go up by 2 inches. We don't want it to cover up the entire short. We don't want the frills to cover up the entire short. So we're going to go up by 2 inches. Mind you, we're still going to fold from here. We still have our folding allowance of 1 inches from here. So I'm going to go up by 2 inches, and this is the 2 inches line that I am marking, and I'll do the same thing for the second piece. Now I'm going to measure out what we have left, and what I have left here is 13 inches. And remember, our frills, we have what, 3 layers. So now I'm going to divide this 13 inches divided by 3, so that I will get what the frills length for each layer. And then when I divided it, I had about 4 1/4, 4 3/4 thereabout. So I'm going to be using 4.5. So from this point, I'll come down by 4.5 inches, and then I'm going to mark it out. And then from that point, I'll come down by another 4.5 inches, and I will mark it out. So basically we have our 3 layers figured out already. So I'm going to repeat the same process on the second piece, and then I already marked it out. So the next one we're going to do is to go ahead and measure out what we have here, and then I have about 8.5 inches. So for me to cut my frills, I'm going to like double what we have here. So you can multiply it by 2 or by 2.5. So for me, I basically multiplied by 2. Okay, for the length of those frills, I went ahead to measure out 6 inches. But mind you, what we measured out was what? Was 4.5 inches, right? Okay, I went ahead to add 1.5 inches for same allowance. Then for the length of the frills, what I have here is 17.5 inches. 17.5 inches, and then I have 6 pieces of this. So these are our frills. We have what, 6 pieces of this. So we're going to be fixing on each piece. We will be fixing 3. Then on the other piece we'll be fixing 3. So this is what we have. So the next thing I'll do is I'll go ahead and then run a gather stitch. I'll run a gather stitch on all the 6 pieces, and then I'll go ahead and fold the edge. But I think it will be more beautiful if you decide to just weave that edge, but I folded anyway. So this is what I have after making my gather stitch. So I already made my gather stitch on the 6 piece. So now let me bring our main bodies where we'll be fixing our frills on, and then watch how I'm going to be fixing my frills. So I'm going to get my first piece, and then I'm fixing it on the bottom part. So I'm going to fix it like this, and so I'll get the second piece, I'll fix it like this, and so then for the third piece that will be on the waistline, I'm going to be placing it like this, and then we sew. So let me take it over to the machine and sew, and then show to you. I think it will make more sense that way. And then this is what we have already sewn. So you can see, I'll just flip it over like this. It will cover. So this is our second layer. We'll flip it like this. And then this is our third layer. And then this is what we have. So I went ahead to repeat the same process on the second piece. Okay, so now I'm going to get one of these. So now this is my other short block. So I'm going to get one piece of the back and then one piece of the front short block. So now I'm going to be fixing it on the side like this. I'll fix one on this side and then fix the other one on this other side. So I'll take it over to the machine and sew, so that you see what we have. And this is it after sewing. You can see it. So I fixed one back block and then one front block. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process for the second one. Okay, after also joining the second part, so I'm going to bring them together like this, so you can see. So I'm going to match it back crouch to back crouch, and then I will sew. and then the front crouch to front crouch, and then we sew. Okay, so after joining, this is what we have. We already joined our crouch together, and this is what we have. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up so that we can finish up our joining at the lower part. Okay, so I've opened it up, and then this is what we have. So I'll go ahead and then hold those parts together, and then we go ahead and sew. Okay, so this is what I have after sewing. You can see, so we are gradually coming to the end of this tutorial. So I'm going to turn it over so that you see what our short is looking like this is coming out so beautiful. So the next thing, we go ahead and fold. So we're going to fold using our 1 inch allowance. So we're going to fold the hem. Then the next thing we're going to do is to finish up the waistline. Now for the band I'll be cutting, I'll first of all measure out what we have on this our round waist. So I'm going to measure out what we have, and then we'll use that measurement to cut our band. So we have measured, and what we have here is what, 32 inches. So that's what we're going to be cutting for the band. And then this is my band piece, and then the width is what, 3 inches. Remember, this is a 1 inches band. By the time we fold, we'll be having what, 1.5. And then the length, as I said, was what, 32 inches. So I'll add 1 inch for folding. So what we have here is what, 33 inches. So I'll go ahead and fold it into two, and then we sew. Now for the elastic we're going to be using, so I already sewed it. Now this is the elastic we're going to be using, and the length of this elastic is 22 inches. Her actual waist is 28 inches, so I minus 6 and we have 22 inches. So I will take it to the machine and then join together like this. I'll sew it like this, and then I'll bring it for us to fix it on this band. So after joining it, I'll bring it to my band like this, and then I'll put it in between my band, and then fold my band into two, and then we sew. Okay, so this is what we have after sewing. So I'll go ahead and sew it round our shorts, and then this is what we have. Please, if you enjoyed this tutorial up to this point, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, give this video a thumbs up, turn on your notification bell, share this video to other sew lovers. Okay, thank you so much for watching. See you next time.